Welcome back to my pathway, Stoic warriors. Have you ever opened your eyes at dawn and felt the universe conspiring against your spirit before your bare feet even touched the wooden floor? Your essence already depleted, the burden of responsibilities, stress, false appearances, and turbulent thoughts all descending upon you in deafening silence. You gaze at the ceiling, paralyzed, fearing a day that hasn't even commenced. I understand that sensation, that silent battle raging within your heart, the kind that doesn't howl but asphyxiates. That's when I discovered Stoicism, not as some lofty philosophy but as my final defense mechanism, as a weapon to reclaim my vitality from the forces draining it. Not a simple saying, not a quotation, but a declaration of war against the disorder I had allowed to reside rent-free in my consciousness. Epictetus proclaimed, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." That's not merely a quote, it's a reminder from a man who taught resilience while enduring slavery and exile. It means you cease pouring energy into matters undeserving, you stop surrendering your tranquility as if it holds no value. This isn't about pretending existence is effortless, it's about becoming immovable amidst the inferno. It's about ascending when everything suggests you should surrender. Today isn't a lecture, it's an awakening. You're about to recollect your true identity. We're not examining 5 gentle suggestions. We're charging through 5 brutal truths that will force your energy back into your grasp. Each truth infused with stoic determination, authentic scars, and raw passion that will impact you more profoundly than any motivational speech. This isn't designed for the faint-hearted. This is for those who are exhausted from being exhausted, tired of being scattered, weary of awakening with no battle spirit remaining. You're not shattered, you're depleted, and we're about to transform that. Before we begin, I want you to do something deliberately, not half-heartedly, not out of habit. I want you to activate that support button as if you're striking the earth and refusing to remain fallen. Leave a message below, "I am the sovereign of my energy." Pronounce it with conviction. Share this with someone you know is crumbling behind a brave facade, and join this journey because what follows isn't merely content, it's a flame ignited directly into your nervous system. Now close your eyes, inhale deeply. You stand at the precipice of something greater than comfort. A tempest lies behind you, the path ahead is untamed, unpredictable, but it belongs to you. You feel it instinctively, the moment has arrived. Let's begin. First truth, seal the leakages. Energy is bled, not stolen. Your strength isn't forcibly taken in one dramatic moment. It's not seized in broad daylight by some obvious adversary. It vanishes gradually, quietly, in instances so minute you scarcely notice until one day you're on your knees, hollowed out, wondering how the blaze turned to cinders. You didn't lose your power, you bled it. Tiny droplets, silent leakages, surrendered each time you chose temporary peace over self-respect, comfort over clarity, or external noise over your own sacred soul. You don't collapse from a single blow, you crumble from 1,000 ignored intuitions, that message you knew you shouldn't answer, that environment you knew you shouldn't enter, that individual you knew you should have released, but you remained. You acquiesced with a clenched jaw, you maintained composure while your spirit screamed. That's the price, you betray yourself to preserve the wrong peace and wonder why your soul remains restless. People don't break you, they erode you. They drain you gradually by expecting you to bear their chaos. They don't inquire about your welfare, they simply continue taking. And the worst part? You permit them. You handed them the blade, you opened the gateway and revealed your vulnerabilities, and they struck repeatedly while smiling at you and calling it affection. Zeno of Citium once wrote, "The goal of life is living in agreement with nature." That's not merely philosophy, that's blood-wrapped truth. It means this, you suffer because you keep assigning weight to matters undeserving of your energy. You bleed because you allow worthless opinions to dictate your value. The pain isn't external, it's in how you internalize it. You're not exhausted, you're overextended. You're not confused, you're surrounded by noise. Your spirit isn't broken, it's suffocating under the burden of all the commitments you made when your intuition was screaming dissent. You're leaking not because you're weak but because you haven't secured the doors on aspects of your life that need exclusion. Sever the connections, clean, ruthless, silent. Let the doors slam, let the silence extend, let the absence reverberate. You needn't explain your departure, simply leave. You needn't send a final communication, your silence will be the loudest message they've ever received. You are not a reservoir for the ungrateful. You are not a power source for those who continuously drain you. You are not a support for those who refuse to stand independently. You are flame, you are steel, you are hallowed ground, and not everyone deserves access to you. Seal the leakages, not later, not gently, now, because every drop of energy you waste on the wrong individuals is stolen from the person you were destined to become. Second truth, your attention is your realm, guard it with ferocity. What captures your attention captures your life. It's that fundamental. Every moment you observe something, contemplate someone, argue about trivialities, it's all rent-free space in your mind, and they're squatting in your realm. That's not merely wasted time, that's a crown relinquished, a throne surrendered to fools. Your attention is gold in a world starved for meaning, and if you distribute it like candy, don't lament when you're depleted, drained, and lost in an existence that doesn't even feel like your own anymore. You don't lose your focus in one catastrophic crash, you get gradually eroded, notification by notification, drama by drama, endless scrolling by endless scrolling. One moment you're contemplating your future, and the next you're observing strangers argue online about matters entirely unrelated to your path. One moment you're present in your body, and the next you're a specter drifting through others' noise, trapped in a digital labyrinth that consumes your soul and produces only distraction. And you wonder why you're anxious. You wonder why you're perpetually fatigued. You wonder why your aspirations continue to slip through your fingers like mist. It's because your mind is no longer yours. It's been captured, not by some villain lurking in darkness but by the slow toxin of squandered attention. You're not broken, you're bleeding out through your focus. Cleanthes once wrote, "The one who is running a race must run to the end. The one who is guarding a position must not leave it." That's the awakening call. You can spend your entire existence doing everything except the one thing that truly matters, living with intention, breathing in your present moment, constructing your future with precision, safeguarding your mind as if it's your final weapon, because it is. You don't owe your attention to every message, every opinion, every trend, every crisis that flashes across your screen. You don't need to keep pace, you don't need to be available, you don't need to respond. In fact, the more you direct your focus inward, the clearer everything becomes. What they call missing out, you'll call freedom. What they call rudeness, you'll call peace. Secure the gates, draw the boundary. If it doesn't build you, it's dismantling you. If it doesn't elevate your vision, it's diminishing your power. Every glance, every scroll, every swipe, it all accumulates. One careless click and you're diverted. One conversation with the wrong person and you're questioning your worth again. Attention is energy, and energy is everything. Guard it with ferocity. Snatch it back if necessary. Deactivate your devices without guilt, leave messages unread without shame. Let people think what they will while you build in silence. Your future isn't constructed by being liked, it's built by being focused, obsessed, engrossed, as if your life depends on it, because it does. They want your attention because it's power. The more they possess, the less you do. Every algorithm is designed to keep you pursuing, every platform is designed to keep you scrolling. But you weren't born to be fed crumbs by machinery, you weren't created to be distracted to death. You were built for conquest, and focus is your sword. Your attention is your realm, and you are either the relentless ruler guarding it or the servant distributing the keys. Choose wisely, because what you focus on, you fuel, and what you fuel determines your destiny. Third truth, cease explaining yourself, your energy isn't negotiable. There comes a time when you must stop dissecting yourself just to be comprehended by people who've already decided not to hear you. You weren't born to be a news release, you weren't placed on this earth to be dissected, second-guessed, or put on trial every time you choose peace over performance. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. Let them distort the narrative. You don't exist to supervise someone else's perception of you. Every time you explain yourself to people who don't respect you, your power leaks out between every word as you try to justify why you withdrew, why you exited the room, why you didn't reply, why your spirit didn't align with their dysfunction. You're not discourteous, you're not cold, you're not arrogant, you're transparent, and transparency frightens those who depend on confusion to maintain control. You don't owe an explanation for how you protect your soul. You don't have to present your reasons like receipts every time you establish a boundary. If your silence disturbs them, it's because it resonates louder than any excuse ever could. People who respect themselves don't chase validation. They don't implore to be understood. They advance with or without applause, and they let the outcomes speak. Chrysippus said it with brutal simplicity: if anyone speaks ill of you, consider not what is said but whether the truth of it might hurt you. That's not merely confidence, that's command. That's the kind of self-possession that transforms noise into background static. You need not diminish yourself to make others comfortable. You need not explain truth to people addicted to lies. Let them choke on their assumptions. You have empires to build. The more you explain, the more power you relinquish. The more you argue, the more you scatter your energy across battles that don't belong to you. And the people who demand the most explanation? They're the ones who never intend to believe you anyway. They're not listening, they're gathering ammunition. Stop providing them with bullets. Start walking in silence. Let your distance be the only response they receive. Let your absence carve more truth than words ever could. The moment you stop explaining is the moment you start reclaiming your energy, your peace, your power. If your presence is questioned, let your absence speak volumes. If your boundaries are challenged, enforce them without flinching, no apologies, no justification, just action. You are not a debate, you are not an option, you are not customer service for your own spirit. You are not here to break yourself down into digestible pieces for people who refuse to absorb the complete truth of who you are. Let them contemplate the silence. Let them sit with the echo of your non-response. Let them wonder why you stopped appearing, and let them never receive the answer. Your energy isn't negotiable, it's a declaration. And once you make peace with being misunderstood, you become untouchable. Fourth truth, master your mornings, that's where your energy is forged. The battle for your life doesn't commence in the loud moments, it begins in the silence. It starts with the first breath you take before the world begins pulling at your throat. Your morning isn't just another segment of your day, it's the furnace, the forge, it's where your energy, mindset, and momentum are either constructed like iron or shattered like glass. You don't rise with strength accidentally, you train for it. You earn it. And it begins the instant your eyes open. If the first thing you reach for is your device, you've already lost. You've surrendered control before you've even stood up. Before your feet meet the floor, you've allowed strangers into your mind, permitted headlines to shape your mood, and let the noise of the world invade the calm you were meant to command. You can't lead your day when you start it as a servant, scrolling, reacting, consuming. Your mind was designed for clarity, not chaos. Your power emanates from what you do when nobody's watching, from how you breathe in the darkness, from how you sit in stillness and confront the aspects of yourself you've been avoiding. Morning is where you plant your flag. It's where you decide, today I direct this performance, not my cravings, not my mood, not my past, me. And that decision, the one you make before the world awakens, sets the tone for everything else. The Stoics comprehended this. Discipline wasn't a buzzword for them, it was armor, it was sacred. Cato the Younger would rise and remind himself, the greatest wealth is a poverty of desires. Not out of sentimentality but strategy, because the individual who commands their mornings builds their own atmosphere. Storms don't unsettle them, people don't disturb them, they've been awake before the noise, honing their edge in silence. If you awaken late, skip your rituals, rush into the world as if you're perpetually behind, then don't be surprised when life continues to consume you and expel you. You're not grounded, you're scattered. And scattered individuals don't lead, they chase, they react, they collapse. You desire clarity? Earn it. Sit in quietude, meditate, write, perspire, reflect, move with purpose. This isn't a motivational trend, it's a survival tactic in a world constructed to distract and dismantle you. Your morning is sacred territory. It's the one period when the world hasn't infected you yet. Guard it like a hawk guards its nest. Create space, build your mind before they attempt to destroy it, move your body before the weight of the day presses upon it, breathe deeply before the chaos commences. That's not a luxury, that's a requirement if you plan to lead your life with passion. You don't master your mornings because it's charming or fashionable, you master them because they sharpen your will, quiet your demons, and ignite a flame that no one can extinguish. You don't need an extensive routine, you need a non-negotiable beginning, something you own, something that strengthens your resolve before the world tries to bend it. So awaken early, awaken hungry, awaken like someone who knows they have work to accomplish, not just externally but internally, because if you don't command your mornings, the world will. And the world doesn't care about your peace, it wants your attention, your focus, your soul. Reclaim it. Your energy is forged before breakfast, not in meetings, not in the gymnasium, not on the battlefield, but in the silence, in the stillness, in the battle you win before the day commences. Fifth truth, stop giving premium energy to discount people. You're exhausting yourself, pouring your brilliance into the hands of people who treat it as nothing more than spare change. You continue to present yourself ablaze with passion for people composed of ash. You keep distributing your peace to souls that only know how to contaminate it. And deep within, you sense it, you're burning out, not from the labor but from the burden of being unappreciated by the very ones for whom you're destroying yourself. You dedicate the finest hours of your day, the clearest portions of your mind, the deepest recesses of your heart to people who wouldn't cross the path for you if you were drowning. You invest loyalty in people who abandon you the moment your radiance dims. You explain yourself to cowards, you plead for decency from the emotionally bankrupt. You're attempting to construct palaces with people who only bring demolition equipment, and it's killing you. Stop. Your soul wasn't designed for discounts. Your time isn't available for seizure. Your energy isn't some dispensing machine that distributes warmth to anyone who presses a button. Panaetios said, "The wise person is self-sufficient." You know what that signifies? Let them misinterpret you. Let them think you're distant. Let them choke on your silence, because protecting your energy will invariably offend those who were feeding off it. You keep trying to rescue the ungrateful, but you're not their savior, you're their supply. You're their emotional support, their emergency contact, their punching bag wrapped in politeness. And every time you consent to them, you're declining your own peace. Every time you restrain yourself, hold back, give more, they grow stronger from your weakness. You're not helping, you're enabling your own destruction. It's time to incinerate the bridge, not for vengeance but for rebirth. You depart without words, without explanation, without a dramatic exit, just cold silence and a locked door. Because when someone drains you repeatedly, they don't deserve resolution, they deserve distance, the kind that reverberates. You weren't created to nurture dead plants. You weren't born to be depleted by takers who disguise their selfishness as need. Start investing in people who invest back. Start protecting your energy as if your life depends on it, because it does. The wrong people won't merely waste your time, they'll distort your self-worth, sabotage your focus, and leave your spirit bleeding in places where no one notices. So critically examine who you're nourishing, who's dining at your table, who receives responses to messages at 2 a.m., who you rearrange your peace for. Ask yourself, would they bleed for you as you've bled for them, or would they step over your body without hesitation? Your energy is hallowed ground, not everyone should have access. And the more you allow the unworthy in, the more you teach them that your soul is inexpensive. So stop giving premium fire to people flying standby in your life. Let them miss the flight and never permit them to board again. If you extract anything from this discourse, let it be this: your energy is your greatest weapon. It's the secret source of everything you desire. Forget the endless time monitoring. You don't need more time, you need more energy. Time will always slip away. Energy, however, that's something you control. And once you do, you own everything. But mastering it won't happen through some application, some productivity checklist, or a stack of books. It begins in the trenches. It begins with your choices, what you affirm, what you decline, and most importantly, what you allow into your mind. It begins with eliminating the noise, the distractions, the parasites, the people and habits that drain you completely. Say no more frequently. Say it to people who take more than they give. Say it to the habits that keep you stagnant. Say it to anything that doesn't serve your higher self. And protect your peace like a guardian protects their charge, because once it's gone, you'll feel the chaos encroaching. When your energy is pure, your mind clears, your decisions become sharper, your presence intensifies. You enter a room, and people feel the shift. And the people who once attempted to derail you? They become quieter, not because they retreat but because you stopped giving them the platform. You stopped surrendering your power. Thank you for joining, Stoic Warriors. If this discourse impacted you profoundly, share a comment and tell me which part affected you most. I want to hear it. I want to experience the weight of this transformation with you. Don't forget to show support, comment, and join, because we're not just passing through this, we're constructing something authentic here, a community that understands the power of energy, of focus, and of unbreakable determination. And remember, your energy is not cheap, so stop offering discounts. Until next time, stay grounded, stay powerful, stay stoic.